Alright, what's up my friends? One of the hobbies that I picked up not that long ago was making my own fishing rods, and today we're doing an unboxing on a power wrapper. So this is kind of an upgrade I'm doing for myself after building, I got 5 rods in so far, really enjoying the experience. So I thought I'd do an unboxing of the power wrapper here. This is the Alps power wrapper. A little bit different than the Mudhole. You know, I like the guys and gals over at Mudhole, but their power wrapper was out of stock. Gave me an opportunity to look at some of the other options out there, and I really liked this one due to how the rod can lock into it. So just received it. As you can tell, the straps are still attached. So I figured let's go ahead and unbox it and take a look at it together on camera. So obviously the box is rather large here, so I don't have it fully on camera for y'all. Just because you'd have to see half my shop, and I don't want to clean that much of it. So we're going to go ahead and just pop it open. I will probably move the camera around as we get going, but hopefully this top-down view works for you. Also, if you're interested, I've been debating on putting together some videos on making my own rods and having an example where you can see how I make rods. I'm not a pro at it. I'm still learning myself. But I find it an enjoyable experience, and I'm more than happy to share that with all y'all. Just let me know. So let me get all these straps off of here, out of the way. I'll pick them all up later. All right. Now I did buy this from Get B-I-T Outdoors. I'll put a link in the description down below on the company that I purchased this from. So this does retail for, at least at the time that I purchased it, $399. But yeah, we'll see. Let's get her cut open. Left my good knife upstairs, but the shop knife will work. And let's take a look. It should come in handy. The next rod I'm wanting to do is a medium heavy bait casting rod. But I'm looking to put an acid wrap on it, which is where the guides or the eyes, depending on your terminology you like to use, wrap around to the other side. So obviously everything's well packaged as it arrived. Let's see here. I'm just going to go ahead and flip this over and get everything out here real quick. So bear with me. Let's take a look. So we've got one of our rails here. Looks like it's got some fiberglass on there that I'll just need to clean off. So aluminum extrusion, I'm going to set this behind me for now on the spare table here. Styrofoam. Let's stand this up. Did send over a Batson catalog, so Batson, I believe, is the manufacturer for the Alps gear. So nice. It's nice to have options. I like to be able to see these paper catalogs to help select the different fishing gear. Mudhole sends one as well. So if you're looking to get into this, one thing I do recommend is just getting a catalog if you can to kind of take a look at the options. And I will say, I don't know if it's in this catalog here. Look for a starter kit. That's what I use. Mudhole has a great starter kit that you can get. You can also build a lot of this stuff at home. I know there's guys and gals out there that build their own hand wrapping equipment, which works wonderfully well. You don't need, like most things in fishing, you do not need this super expensive gear. So you can see it all right. I'll put this a little bit closer. But this is the machine that we're unboxing today. So the Alps wrap machine with drying machine attached, and of course with the Alps upgraded chuck. And I'll show it to you, but you can see the image here. This actually has the rollers for your rod as it's in the actual power wrapper, versus the mud hole machines just kind of have these rests that things sit in. This is what I use when I'm hand wrapping. I got 4 or 5 of these guys laying around. So set that catalog to the side. And it looks like a lot of this is already pre-assembled. Take a look at that. Let me scoot this down. Alrighty, so what do we got here? I'm just going to set this so you can kind of see my view. We've got one roller here. I'll turn this sideways so you can see it. This one you actually loosen and tighten and lock your rod into it so it doesn't slide out anywhere, and I'll adjust that all here in a little bit. And these other 2 are spring-loaded to be able to drop your rod into those. Loosen that one. Let me just take them out the end here real quick. So you've got 2 rod carriages like this. I believe it's what you call this, is a rod carriage. I may be wrong. So this one is just, like I said, spring-loaded. Obviously, you're going to raise this up and load your rod into it. I'll put a blank in here in a little bit. So plastic construction, nothing too fancy, just enough for it to work correctly. I'm going to take this other one off. It's also the second spring loaded. And then this one here, like I said, you'll actually unscrew this bottom piece, raise that, then raise or lower this however you need, to then lock your rod into place, which is pretty handy. I'm gonna make sure I'm doing that right before I just start pushing things too hard. So you'll adjust that really to center it into your chuck, if I remember correctly. So I'm gonna set these to the side off of the aluminum track. Now let's go down here to this top unit. Grab my sharp knife again here. There we go. So lift this off of here. I'm just going to lay this on the side to give you all a great view. So it does have 3 speeds. Adjustable chuck here, which is already put together for me, which is nice. We have a wrapping motor here and a drying motor, of course, with a band that's used to hold all that together. And then off, you can see, I'll grab the camera off of the mount here in a little bit. We've got a switch over here to put this on either dry, off, or wrap, and of course a speed adjuster right there. And of course our foot pedal, which is one of the nice things about a power wrapper. Kind of lets you go hands free, where you don't have to move the rod or rotate the rod by hand. And this is just pretty standard foot pedal, nothing fancy to it, right? And of course plug in. So that's the beefy part here of that. And let's go ahead and open up this box here. So like I said, I like it when stuff like this comes pretty much all assembled. I know there's a little bit of assembly that I need to do for it. So in here, of course, we have our instructions. Well, looks like they actually slip right out the top, which is nice. Just in case you're curious about all the different elements and pieces and how that works. I'm sure this is available on their website, but sometimes it's easier just to take a look here on video when other folks are doing it. It's handy. We've got our metal pieces here. These are used to attach the other piece of aluminum extrusion. So you have kind of one solid track. I am lucky enough that I have pretty much 8 foot of table here that I'm going to be able to use. And also in here we have additional rubber grips for the chuck. And I believe, if I remember correctly, let me open this and take a look. These are the smaller chucks that kind of have more of a point. So you'll see those will slide over. This is a smaller piece here. And it takes a screw to take the ones that off of there on right now. But they have a larger kind of concave portion right here. You can see that okay. Which accommodate larger rods. So this is going to be for your smaller rods. And this is a good soft rubber, as you can see, or plastic, whatever material it is. Which I will, that will depend, and I'll see how that all adjusts out. So, set that to the side. And then in this last package here, we have the thread carriage. Now, I do know from what I've read, and making purchases like this, do go out and read a little bit. I know I chatted with some folks on Reddit, some folks in the Mud Hole Facebook group, if you're not part of. Definitely recommend it to be able to see what people are doing. Take that spare rubber piece there. So we do have, this is the rod carriage, 3 rollers on the back, which is basically just meant to just slide right into here. Nothing fancy. Now this, it does use kind of a spring tensioner, and basically your line travels through here, and that's what keeps the tension, and of course through your hooks. So it is only meant for one thread at a time, which is fine for me at this current moment. I will likely upgrade this or switch this out. If you're trying to compare between this and like the Mud Hole, at least how I took it when I did my research, kind of whichever direction that you want to go. With this particular rod wrapper, number one's in stock, that helped. But I get these kind of nicer, I'm not sure what you call these, but feel free to put in the comments. I'm probably going to get it wrong. So the rod rollers is what I'll call them. So you get 3 of these nice rod rollers, where in the Mud Hole, like I said, you more of just get the rests. But the Mud Hole package, I know you have a better rod carriage. They have actually, I think it comes with a 4-spool, but I could be wrong. This will work for me for now, although of course one of the first things that I want to do is a tiger wrap. So that'll be fun. I can't put 3 threads on here. I'll have to see if I can run them through at the same time, the tensioner, but I'll at least be able to put those 3 on here. It looks like it does also at least come with a little magnet, which is handy spot to keep your razor blade so it doesn't go flying everywhere. And only have to keep that up and out of the way. I'm going to put that on there and just give you an idea. Throw some spools on there so it's ready to rock and roll as needed. So let me go ahead and put this together, and then I'll give you all another view, and we'll give it a quick test run and see how it goes. All right, let's go over a couple things that I've already noticed real quick. First of all, putting this together is kind of a pain. See, up underneath there are the nuts and lock washers that go behind there. The instructions say that you just need a screwdriver to put this together, and that's not true. You're going to need something to get underneath there to hold that nut. And I just had a magnetic holder that I used. That came in handy, so be sure to play with that. This was easy to align between the two, so that was not a problem at all. Down here, The whole head unit's good to go. It's basically a little sewing machine motor, like I was talking about earlier. Here is your dryer motor. See, that's going now. I don't have that attached, obviously. And then your wrapping motor engagement there. And then again, this is your speed control, variable speed control. Again, it's not on because I haven't pushed the foot pedal. But I'll go ahead and do that. But let me pull this blank out. I don't want to have that attached. So I've got this about half the speed right now. And you see it gets going pretty good. Let's go to full speed. And it gets rocking and rolling. And then like, you know, the foot pedal. I don't know of a time I'd ever actually use it at that high of a speed. We have this just plugged into the side of my desk here. There is plenty of cable for the foot pedal, which is down here. Don't mind the mess down there. The bobbin sled, that's what I'll call it. It doesn't quite move as well as I would like to. It's got a little bit of resistance there. I know it's supposed to be able to just kind of go along with the thread automatically. I don't think that's going to happen. I do have some thread on here already, so you can see it basically goes from the thread carrier, which you can put up to 4 spools on here. It goes around the tension device here, and if you can see there on the back, there's a little spring right here and through the other ceramic guide here, and then we'll go up and onto your blank like so. I'll try to wrap here in a little bit. I'll probably suck doing it on camera, but it's okay. So as far as adjusting these, it's basically just a matter of getting your rod on it and then kind of trying to center it as much as you can to the chuck down there. Of course, you'll tighten that down as needed. So here on this one, I'm going to set the camera down. So that's kind of where I want it. This is already tightened down below. Just going to loosen this up, drop that down on top of the rod, and tighten it up again. So I'm in here, good to go. And also, while I've got you in frame there, I'm going to go ahead and tighten this up real quick. Make sure it's in there all the way. And tighten that up. Those do have a good squishy rubber on them. And let me get you really close here. As you can see there. So it's not really going to mess up the rod blanks at all, which is nice. Okay, I do have this already hooked up to the motor right now. But let me go ahead and undo that just so we can kind of show free spin. Works out pretty well. So coming down here is one of the first spring loaded. Again, I've already got this adjusted up here. I will say one thing to point out is that these cannot move past this section with the bolts without it being loosened, pulled out, and then kind of put back on the other side. So I do wish that these would be able to slide all the way past, but that's okay. Once I get them kind of in the area I want, I don't foresee moving them a lot. So this is up again. This has already been adjusted to the height of the rod. So I'm just going to drop this down, and that holds the rod in there. I'll give that a spin. And down here, and sorry, my lighting isn't as good on this side of the workbench. But one thing that I noticed is you see that my rod blank comes all the way out here. So when putting the tip top on, of course I would normally want to have some sort of support down here for that. Unfortunately though, this piece here, as you can see now, kind of barely catches on that. If I move this further down this way, this springed piece just misses it completely. And that might be fixed with raising this up more, just something as far as I initially noticed. If any of y'all have this wrapper or have advice on how I can get this closer down here for wrapping my tips, that would be greatly appreciated. Otherwise, I'll look for something else to be able to assist with that down the road. So let me just wheel myself back on over here. So at this point, I've got this loosely on here, spins nicely without a problem at all. And I figure, let's give it a try. All right, so I've got the motor disconnected. Let's go ahead and try my first wrap here on the power wrapper. Now again, like I said, I have not wrapped on a power wrapper before. This is new to me. I'm also not a professional rod builder. Be nice. Let me just do this. I'm just going to tape this guy up here. For now, that's fine. So I've got it disconnected from the motor right now. And so I'm just kind of hand turning, which this is nice. Let me increase my tension just a little bit here. Grab my burnisher. Clean that up a little bit. If you're curious, this is a size A white nylon. I've been working on getting comfortable with the size A thread. I started with D, as a lot of people do. So now I'm not going to cut this one against the blank right now. There we go. Just because I'm going to use this later. So let me attach the motor now. All right, friends, here we go. First power wrap. Got some overlap happening there. Let me see here. Let me back this off a little bit. I was not expecting that to go perfectly. Will say one thing I learned with this white nylon. See how I have my hands on the thread here. That's a big issue as far as dirt on the hands. All right, so let's give that a go again. Oh, looky there, looky there. Not perfect, but that's okay. Well, my friends, obviously I can't burnish all of that out. It's not perfect, but I'd say for a first go, not too bad. It looks like some of that is actually, as I was talking about earlier, is some of that dirt and oil. So if I were want to finish this wrap real quick. All right, so let's actually finish this wrap. Let's see how it will go. So get that on there. It is different to me as far as not having to hold everything all the time. Which is kind of nice. Let me burnish. It looks like there's a bit of a gap here, but I think that's just the dirt from what I'm seeing. Alrighty, so now let me take this. Scissors there would be better to keep it from fraying, but on the other side of my bench. It's pretty far away. And I'm just using a size D black thread here. Get that pulled through here. All right. So definitely burnish this to clean this up the rest of the way, but as far as I'm concerned, that's a successful first run. I know I'm using the edge of this burnisher and y'all are gonna yell at me, but that's okay. With a power wrapper. That's nice. So just kind of show the finish up here. We would take this off of that motor. We would just add it over here. I'm trying to do this one-handed, so that's always fun. Let me just pop this off over here. So not a whole lot of room in here as far as switching to the drying motor, but definitely possible. I'm just going to switch that to drying. And there we go. And we'll leave it set. Well, friends, that is the Alps power wrapper. Again, purchased at Get Bit Outdoors, if I remember the name correctly. Again, I'll put the link in the description down below for you if you want to check one of these out for yourself. So I am excited about this and giving it a whirl next time around. Bad camera angle. If you are interested in seeing me make videos on making my fishing rods, let me know. Next rod I have is actually the one here that's on the power wrapper. We're going to be doing some, it's on the bag here still. That's some wind grips in green. This will be nice. I like a good split grip. So we'll be doing a split grip, and I'm thinking tiger wrap using this green thread in the split, but we'll see. Well, that's all I got for you today, my friends. I hope everybody's taking care of themselves this winter and taking care of each other. We've been through a hell of a year. Let's make this one better than the last. Take care of yourselves, my friends.